I have fresh yams.
Right.
I will trade you peppers for them.
Before the naira, before coins and banknotes, there was trade by barter. In ancient times, Nigerians exchanged yams for salt, goats for fabrics, and services for food. It was a simple system, but not always convenient. As communities grew, so did the need for a more efficient way to trade. That's when early forms of money like cowries, brass manillas, and salt blocks came into use. These were more accepted and easier to carry than baskets of farm produce.
Men, secure the perimeter. Let's get these supplies unloaded swiftly.
With colonialism came new systems. Nigeria became part of the British West African currency board. The British pound sterling became the official currency, which was printed abroad and shipped into the country. Nigerians used coins and paper notes they couldn't control.
When the British came, they were looking for a way to establish financial transactions in exchange for Nigerian goods. So they introduced their own currency. That their currency was to be paid to us in exchange for our goods. That was the beginning of banknote.
The first significant arrival of colonial power in what is now Nigeria was in the late 15th century when the Portuguese arrived around 1472 for trade along the coast. However, it was the British who later colonized the region more deeply. The British formally established control in the mid to late 19th century, particularly with the establishment of the Royal Niger Company in the 1880s and eventually the protectorates. Southern Protectorates and Lagos Colony, established in the 1860s to 1880s. Northern Protectorates established in 90s. In 1914, the British amalgamated the North and South in one colony called Nigeria. So while early Europeans, the Portuguese, arrival dates back to 1472, British colonial rule formally began in the 19th century and led to modern administrative and monetary system.
Before colonization, the name Nigeria did not exist. It was made up of entities, group of people with different cultures, different beliefs, different ways of doing business. So when the colonial masters came in for business, they combined everything together for easy trading and transaction.
The region was made up of many independent kingdoms, empires, and ethnic groups, each with its own name, government, and system of trade. The British later merged these diverse entities into one colony called Nigeria in 1914. In 1958, the Nigerian government established the Central Bank of Nigeria, also known as the CBN, and it began operations in 1959. The first governor was Roy Penteleo Fenton, a British man. The goal was to give Nigeria control over its own money and monetary policies. Nigeria was still using the British West African pound, which was introduced by the West African Currency Board, WASP, where 1 pound was equal to 20 shillings and 1 shilling was equal to 12 pence. Issued by the West African Currency Board based in London. Then also used in Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. Although Nigerians still used the British West African pound, the CBN took over monetary control from the WASP. In 1959, Nigeria began issuing its own version of the Nigerian pound, separate from the British West African pound. This note had the Federation of Nigeria written on them, symbolizing the financial independence even before political independence in 1960. Before 1959, British West African pound was issued by the West African Currency Board. In 1959 to 1973, Nigerian pound was issued by the CBN. In 1973 to present, Nigeria, the naira was introduced and has been in place. On January 1st, 1973, the Nigerian naira was born. Nigeria abandoned the British currency system and introduced its own. The naira replaced the pound sterling at the rate of 2 naira to 1 pound. It became the official currency of a growing independent nation. Nigerian naira was named by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who was the Federal Commissioner for Finance at the time the currency was introduced in 1973. The name naira is a shortened, more Nigerian-sounding form of the word Nigeria. Chief Obafemi Awolowo coined the term by taking the Nai from Nigeria and modifying the rest to form a unique name for the new national currency. This change happened as part of Nigeria's decimalization policy, replacing the Nigerian pound with the naira at the rate of 1 pound to 2 naira. Chief Obafemi Awolowo named the naira while serving as the Federal Commissioner for Finance during General Yakubu Gowon's military administration. This happened as part of the government's effort to decimalize the Nigerian currency system, transitioning from the British pounds, shillings, and pence to the more Nigerian, simplified currency system. The actual naming and policy decision occurred within the Federal Ministry of Finance in Lagos, which was Nigeria's capital at that time. Lagos was also where most major federal decisions, including financial policies and currency reforms, were being made during the early 1970s. These were the faces on the currency. 1 naira note featured Herbert Macaulay, a nationalist and politician. 5 naira note showed Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Nigeria's first prime minister. The 10 naira note carried Dr. Alvan Ikoku, an educationist. 20 naira note carried Honors General Murtala Mohammed, a bold former head of state. 50 naira note represents unity, featuring people from different ethnic groups. 100 naira note shows Chief Obafemi Awolowo, known for free education policies. 500 naira note displayed Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Nigeria's first president. 1000 naira note has portrait of Alhaji Aliyu Mai Bono and Dr. Clement Isong, the first indigenous CBN governors. Banking has come a long way. The first bank in Nigeria was established in 1894. It was called the Bank of British West Africa, now known as First Bank of Nigeria. Today, there are hundreds and millions of banks and millions of Nigerians use mobile banking. The Bank of British West Africa was established in Lagos. The first office was located at 35 Marina, Lagos Island. Founded by Sir Alfred Lewis Jones, a British shipping magnate. This building marked the state of formal banking in Nigeria under colonial rule and was the first ever bank in the country. To understand this more, Nigeria became a British protectorate in stages. Southern Nigeria Protectorate, established in 1900. Northern Nigerian Protectorate, also in 1900. Amalgamation of both in 1914, forming what is now modern-day Nigeria. Independence from Britain, achieved in 1st October 1960. So in 1894, Nigeria was not yet officially named Nigeria. The name was coined in 1897 by Flora Shaw. It was a collection of kingdoms, emirates, and trading regions under British influence and control, especially in the coastal areas. Lagos had already been annexed by the British as a colony in 1861, which is why the first bank was set up there. Over the years, The Naira has gone through redesigns in 2007 and in 2022. The CBN introduced newer notes with better security. These changes helped fight counterfeiting and reduce corruption. But challenges remain. Inflation continues to reduce the value of the Naira. In some cases, people prefer to trade in US dollars, especially in high-value transactions. In 2021, Nigeria made history by launching the e-naira, Africa's first digital currency backed by a central bank. This step showed Nigeria's move towards a cashless future. The Naira is more than just a paper. It tells the story of Nigeria's journey from barter to digital trade. It holds the faces of heroes and hopes of the nation. As we look to the future, may the Naira rise with pride, stability, and strength. For more of African history and stories, please subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification button and don't forget to share. Thank you so much for watching.
Come closer.